Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God it's Wednesday, guys. It is Wednesday, and I'm trying to get this thing together, and it ain't where it need to be, but here we go. It's Wednesday. Let me cut this ringer off. We might have to run this back. I'm going to clip this out at the beginning because, of course, as soon as we start the live stream, my phone started going off. Let me make sure both of these ain't ring-a-ling-a-linging while we do this live stream. I'm gonna just cut this one off. Let's do that. I hope y'all had an awesome day in the market. I seen a few things that was going on that definitely piqued my interest, and actually I made some money in the market today. I sure did. I locked in some profits, and we're actually going to cover that trade today. So this is going to be something new because now I can walk you guys through my thought process for taking the trade, why I got out where I got out at, what I was looking at with the company, and all of that good stuff. So tonight you are definitely in for a treat. Now that I got my phones and stuff set up, we can go ahead and keep this moving. So let me make sure this is where it need to be. Okay. So tonight we are taking a look at ticker BABA. You might know them better as Alibaba. Alibaba Group Holding Limited was founded in 1999 by 18 people led by Jack Ma, with the first office opening in Hangzhou. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Hangzhou, China. Now they're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange and have a market value over $300 billion. Yes, that's B. Billion dollars. Alibaba is in the broadline retail industry in the consumer discretionary sector, and they are not listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Alibaba's peers are Amazon, ticker AMZN, JD.com, ticker JD, and PDD Holdings, ticker PDD. We're going to review Alibaba's earnings, their website, and visit the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put an FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to it. One second. I got this tea kettle on, and I do not want this to interrupt the show. So give me 1 second. All right, so let's get to these earnings. No, please just cut it off for me. Thank you. All right, so here we are with the earnings. Alibaba, let's get this right. Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA, the $349.8 billion company, reported its first. Wait a minute. I'm all over the place. Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA, the $349.8 billion company, reported its fourth quarter 2026 earnings on Wednesday, May 13th. They have a 52-week high of $192.67, which took place on October 2nd, and a 52-week low of $103.71 that occurred on July 9th, which is a trading range of $88.96. And they closed today at $145.81. Alibaba earnings report beat on the top line, reporting revenue of $35.8 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $35.3 billion, and missed on the bottom line as heavy investments in AI and quick commerce weighted on margins. EPS was lower than the analysts and market expectations of 84 cents when they reported a GAAP EPS of 9 cents. Alibaba reported a GAAP net income of 3.2 billion, which is higher than the 1.6 billion net income they reported this same quarter last year. This represents an increase of 96%. So for the fourth fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 50% lower than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released before the market opened, followed by a 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time conference call. As far as guidance, management expects AI application revenue to surpass 30. Wait a minute. As far as guidance, management expects AI application revenue to surpass 30 billion RMB by the year end with improving margins. That 52-week high compared to today's closing of $145.81 represents a decline of 24.3% over a span of approximately 7 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in October at that 52-week high of $192.67, they will be seeing a loss of $243.22. Okay, now let me go here. My lips are dry, my throat is dry. It's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Let me get me some chapstick. Started on time, lips ashy, throat dry. Asked my wife to cut the tea off because I knew that was gonna go off in the middle of the show. But we got that going. Do the best I can without going to go get this tea. Okay. So let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? To find those answers, we browse 4 key areas: the homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for SEC filings and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now let's go back to Alibaba's website and check that out. Let me blow that up. So we got that ready. Click this. Bam. Got the ticker up there. Man, we doing good. Let's get this disclaimer up. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button. I definitely would appreciate it. So here we go. We are on the main website and we're looking for about us. I see that right here at the top. So we have that. Here's investors relations and here's careers. So everything we need, I can see right here at the top. So we're going to scroll over the home page and just see what we can see before we click on those 3 locations. All right. I've heard about this company. I've never purchased anything from them. And honestly, I don't really know much about them besides the orange, like the orange logo. And I don't want to get them confused with Temu, but I know Temu has orange too. And they're over in the East, overseas. So browsed over it. Let's go to about it and see what we can find out together. All right. Am I too far from this mic? I think we're good. So more than 2 decades of track record of more than 2 decades of track record of innovation. That sounds funny to me. Am I reading that wrong? More than 2 decades of track record of innovation. Yeah, that's worded funny to me. So culture and values. So here's their mission: to make it easy to do business anywhere. That's simple. Vision: we do not pursue size or power. We aspire to be a good company that will last for 102 years. That's very specific. You know what I'm thinking? I know this it's not off subject, but it's a little random. See this book right here? This book right here, Japanese Candlestick Charting Techniques by Steve Neeson. Okay. He talked about how difficult it was to translate some of the Japanese language into English. So some translations between languages are not easy. Some words, some languages don't even have words for some of the stuff we have words for. Okay. So as we're reading over this, I have to keep in mind, it seems like this has been a translation from Asian language. I don't know if it's Japanese or I don't know, to English. And that's why it kind of sound off. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking is going on here. So values: customers first, employees second, shareholders third. Trust makes everything simple. Change is the only constant. Today's best performance is tomorrow's baseline. If not now, when? If not me, who? Live seriously, work happily. Yeah. Even the punctuation, guys. Like if you look at the punctuation, it's commas, but no periods. So if you're thinking, well, maybe they're not using that. Okay, well, if they're not using periods, then why do they have a period over here? And then they have question marks. So it's like all over the place as I'm reading it, as I'm looking at it. Okay, so here is the leadership. And they have right here, it says cultures and values. I wonder if this is just gonna scroll us up. So they scroll us up on the same page. I'm like, we just read that. All right, so let's move on to careers. Here we go with that. Bam. Let me double check to see if we're zoomed in where I want it. Yeah, we zoomed in. So join Alibaba, Alibaba. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing this right at all. I can spell it, but I sure can't pronounce it. I don't know. Alibaba. I'm gonna say it like that. An exciting future together. Join now. Okay, so just click join now. This is a short page, ain't it? Yeah, I think we just click that to see what we can find, because what I'm looking for are the benefits. And it popped up on a whole nother screen. So let me bring it over so you can see what I'm looking at, and you already know what I'm looking for. So let's blow this up and zoom in. 150. There we go. I'm looking for the benefits, guys. That's what I'm looking for. So Alibaba Group Holding, Taobo. Oh, I'm saying that because I don't want to pronounce this stuff and read it wrong. All others. I don't see anything about benefits, guys. Does this say health? Vehicle to authors offers one-stop solutions to consumers. That's for consumers. Like, what is the, so that's mission vision again. Let's go to United States and see what we can find over here, because I believe we're at the bottom of this page. Yes. Okay. And then we're going to go to investor relations, and we're going to go to the charts. So yeah, they're talking about the global presence. I know I'm moving kind of fast. So the links for the websites that we're featuring tonight are down in the description for your convenience. So they talking about join us again. I missed that button. We just clicked it and it opened up a whole nother website. Then we go to that website and they ask you to click again. So class of, what is going on? What just popped up? Now they asking me to play something. Okay, I'm scrolling down. That's the locations. Cloud growth. Man, this is a lot of stuff moving around. I don't see nothing about benefits, guys. This is busy. This is all. Okay, at the top, that drop down. Now it went away. Where is that drop down? Okay, home, jobs, business introduction, recruitment updates, personal center, more recruitment. Let me click jobs. Okay. I don't see anything about benefits, okay? I tried. So let's move on. Let's go to investors relations. So we need to leave this website. Leave this. I'm going to go back here and go to the top, investors relations. There we go, investor relations. So let's get ready to wrap this up. So they trade on the New York Stock Exchange. There's the stock price. We're going to scroll over this page. And then after we scroll over this page, we're going to go to the stock information. So I'm seeing right here at the top, where did it just disappear to? Right here, investor news, investor tools, stock information. Is this clickable? No, that's not clickable. So let's try investor tools. No. I'm looking for charts. Usually we see stock quotes up here. Go to home. So the only stock information I'm seeing is this. It doesn't look like they offer charts or anything else that we might can use. Yeah. I'm done. I tried. So we went over their website. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Let me put this back. And we're going to go here. We're not going to go to the actual chart yet because I need to talk to you about this. So before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. Traders lose critical detail and advanced platform features on a mobile screen. So keep in mind, trading from a phone is usually the least effective way for managing assets. To see every detail, use a full trading platform and watch these streams on a computer or TV. Only use a phone as a last resort. Now let's look at the charts for ticker BABA Alibaba. All right, bam, here we are. Now we on the charts and we are looking at a 1 year daily chart. Okay, and this is the candle for today. Big green candle. Okay, so somebody likes something. They had a lot of buying pressure that pushed this stock up today. And today we already know they had earnings. So they should have increased volume. But what we're going to do, we're going to look at the 10-year weekly chart to see what we can find as far as technicals. Okay. So let's go to the 10-year weekly chart. There we go. Now I'm not blocking it. Thank gosh. So over the last 10 years, their highest price, their 10-year high was $319.32. Their 10-year low was $58.01. And it does look like they started paying a dividend in 2000. This looks kind of weird. Let me zoom in. Okay. So it looks like some dividends started in 2023, like the end of 2023. They paid a dividend of $1. And it looks like they've been paying a dividend ever since. As I'm glancing at this, let me zoom in over here. Wait a minute. It looked like they stopped paying a dividend. Okay. Looks like they had stopped. So they started and they stopped. So I wonder what the heck was going on with that. But let's go ahead and get these price levels to look for some technicals. So I'm seeing this right here as a zone. Okay. So that's going to be support and resistance. Let me zoom in. And if we really want to get specific with this, I'm going to use this tool here. And I want to capture the wicks on these candles here. So that's my support and resistance zone. And I'm going to extend that over. So we're going to go to edit properties, click this calendar, and we're going to move this over to 2026. Too far. 2026, June 1st. Let's go to July. So July 1st. And then click OK. So it's going to extend it all the way over. I'm going to zoom out. So that's my support resistance zone. As far as where it is below the price action that we're seeing right now on the weekly. And now I'm looking for another price level that it seemed like it was having problems with. I'm going to say right here. Let me zoom in. The top of the body of this candle right here. That's support and resistance, because we can see a few candles here that had trouble with it. This candle here, the wick got above it. This candle and this red candle, but they weren't able to close above it. So I'm seeing that level as resistance. And this is still the weekly chart. I just zoomed in so you can see what I'm looking at that gave me that inclination on the technicals for me to look at that as support or resistance. Okay. And now I'm going to look over here, go back. So I'm going to say right about here. Okay. So I'm going to use this area as a zone. So I'm going to zoom in. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. So that zone I'm looking for is going to be here. So like this candle and then the top of that candle. And then we're going to extend it again. So edit properties, extend this over to 2026. I think we did July 1st. So July 1st, okay. And then it's going to extend it over. Let's zoom out, see what we got. Yeah, so that's my technicals. Those are my technicals. And then I'm going to put one right here. And I'm gonna zoom in and show you why. Okay. The reason why I'm using these two candles right here as also a level of resistance is because this is above where the price action is now. So the price action is right here, this candle. So this is a weekly chart. So this is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday inside that candle I just pointed to. These 2 weeks right here, this candle here is acting funny. Give me a second. This green candle is not gonna let me be. I hate when this tool start acting up. This green candle and this red candle, both of those touched that exact same or got really close to that $180.75 price point. So that I'm seeing that as resistance. It didn't even close at it. It just hit it during that week. And that's why we see those wicks touching that price area. Even this candle right here wasn't able to close above it. Okay. So $180.75. We drew this zone, but we don't know what those price levels are, right? So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to take these off, cut this tool back on, switch my mouse. So if we open the properties up for this, we can see what those price levels are. So the highest part of that zone is $195.72. The lowest part of that zone is $191.22. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the $191.22 on the chart. 190, 192. I believe that's what it was. Just put it there. Check this again and make sure I'm getting it right. 190, 122. So that's it. We got it. So that's the bottom of that zone. So now we have our support and resistance levels, and now we're going to go back to the 1-year daily chart, okay? So now we're on the 1-year daily. We have our technicals done already. We can zoom in, and we can also see how the day candles are responding to the levels we drew using the weekly chart. We can see that the 52-week high, it hit that resistance, and it was a wick. It didn't close inside of it. So it wasn't able to stay above the $191.22. We can see that 2 days actually touched that $180.75. Here's another day that touched it. Here are 3 other days. This day didn't quite reach it. So we can get a better idea of how the price is responding to these price levels. So today, this candle is the day candle for today. Let me zoom in. This candle right here. So we see that today it was able to close above the price level that we grabbed from the weekly of the $143.75. Okay. And then this support and resist, well, it's a support zone because the price is above it. Now, if this price was to get below $117.82, it would become resistance. But this is a support zone for right now. The price is above it. So let's talk about the 9-day simple moving average and the 200-day simple moving average. It opened below both of them. So here's the open of the candle, the bottom of the body. So during today's trading session, it was able to close above the 9-day simple moving average and the resistance of $143.75, but it fell short of the 200-day simple moving average, okay? So let's do the stock quote. We're done with the technicals. I believe we're good with that. So let's go ahead and cut the floating data box on. Let's see if it works today. Nope. So we're going to have to manually do it. So we're going to go right here. I'll walk you through it. Go to settings, then go to floating data box. Well, data box, select floating, click apply. And now when we mouse over today's candle, we can talk about the stock quote for Alibaba. So ticker BABA opened today at $132.06. They had a high of $146.87. They had a low of $130.33, and they closed today at $145.81, which was a trading range of $16.54. When we look at the trading volume, they traded 40 million shares of this stock today. And remember, they had earnings. So it's expected that we should see higher than average volume on earnings. So let's take off the floating data box. That worked. Take me off the screen. And then we're going to look at my volume label. So right here, the average trading volume for Alibaba is 13 million shares in a daily trading session. So today was definitely above average with this 40 million shares traded. And then Tuesday, it was slightly above average. But with earnings approaching, that was expected. So they had above average volume the day before earnings at 16 million shares traded on Tuesday. Now, put me back on the screen and let's talk about the volume rank percentile. Out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 5 days had higher volume than today. DA, days above. Volume rank percentile is 98%. So that means that today's volume was higher than 98% of the most recent 252 trading sessions. So that's what we're seeing for the volume. We've covered everything. We got our technicals. And now, guys, we can move on. So let's go here. And let's go here. So back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description, as well as the ticker on the screen. Greatly would appreciate it. And let me throw this in here while we're on the subject. I need about 100 followers, I need 100 followers on my official Facebook page. I Am Original Greatness on Facebook. I need 100 followers in order for me to start live streaming on that page. It would help me out tremendously. Ask and you shall receive if you guys will go over there and follow that page. Thanks in advance, okay? So I want to make sure I put that out there. Now, let's talk about this right here. Okay, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. Now, let's look at that. So we're going to go back to the charts. Bam. And we need to put up this disclaimer. Talking about Charles Schwab. Now we're going to go here, put this up, and now we can go over here. So we're going to go up to the symbol box and type in SPY so we can see what happened. Oh my gosh, guys, this SPY is tearing the markets up. They hit another 52-week high today, and we are looking at a 1-year daily chart. That information is right here. We're about to zoom in and check this out. Man, I know this looks like a lot of lines. You're like, man, you just drawing lines like crazy. Because this price is bunched in an area. It just keep making highs. Boom, 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 boom. Just keep, hey, and every time it try to go down, it doesn't hold. It has these long wicks. Well, this one was the longest. So this was a hammer. If we're talking about technicals, well, it wasn't technically at the top, but the shape of it is a hammer. Came down, hit that $731.83 price level, and then boom, recovered, closed above the open. So that made the candle green. And now today on Wednesday, we hit a new 52-week high, guys. We got another one. So this line right here for the previous 52-week high, and this is an all-time high as well. We're going to move this 740.79 up to the 743.91 level. So we're going to remove this drawing and just put a new one. It'll snap right to it. Bam, bam. 743.91. That's our new area of resistance. And remember, these are all-time highs. Just in case it's your first time checking this out, we're going to go to the 10-year weekly chart so you can see there's no price that's been as high as this in the last 10 years. This is the highest it's been. So now we can go back to the daily chart. We've seen that, and we're pretty much done with the technicals. It ain't really nothing else to talk about. This thing just going up. It's going up, going up, going up. And it's went up by over $10 since this wick dipped down and this gap up. What day was this? May 5th. So this candle right here was May 5th. and then it gapped up from May 5th to May 6th. That's why we have this yellow gap here to indicate a gap. So guys, the SPY is running. We see it. It is running. Let me keep this spaced out, and then we're going to go ahead and get the quote. Let's get the ETF quote for the SPY. Spread this out. Make it, we just go ahead and make it bigger. So let me cut on the floating data box, and we can cover this so we can talk about the volume. All right. So the SPY opened today at $738.47. They had a high, which was also a 52-week high and an all-time high of $743.91. They had a low of $735.47, and they closed today at $742.31, which was a trading range of $8.44. Now, when we look at the volume, they traded 44 million shares of this ETF today. And now we're going to look at the volume label. Take me off the screen, which I did not do. Take me off the screen, take the floating data box off. Here we go. And all right, here's the average volume right here. So on average, the SPY trades 75 million shares in a trading session, a daily trading session. And today they did 44 million. So it's definitely below average. And it's a decrease in volume compared to what they had on Tuesday. Tuesday, they traded 54 million shares of this ETF. So even with declining volume, it's still reaching all-time highs. And we've been witnessing this almost every day. It's been under average and creating these highs, which is amazing to me. Let me put me back on the screen. It's just simply amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. So now let's talk about the volume rate percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, let me say that again, a little smooth. Out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 14 days had lower volume than today. So the volume rate percentile is 5.6%, which means that today's volume is only higher than 5.6% of the most recent 252 trading days. So that gives us an idea of just how low the volume is compared not just to the average volume, but compared to the most recent 252 trading days, which is about a year. Okay. So we moving good tonight. We running smooth. We got everything up. So we can go back here and talk about this real quick. All right. All right. All right. Now, we are about to look at today's winners and losers. And first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. And I also have a treat for you guys tonight because I'm going to actually review one of these companies and talk about a trade that I took and why I took it. And you can get an idea of what I look for when I'm looking at opportunities or looking for opportunities in the market. Okay, so let's go over to here. Yeah, we're back to the charts. Now we're going to go up to the Market Watch tab. We can take the SPY off the screen because we're done with the SPY. And I did it. I did it. But we're moving on. So the biggest loser for today is ticker APP, AppLovin Corporation. They lost 7.57% today. So their previous close was $490.69 right here. And they closed today at $453.53. Okay. So let's pull up a calculator and see hypothetically what somebody would have made or lost. In this case, lost. If they had invested, it's not even on the screen. Here you go. $500. So if someone invested $500 and they lost that 7.5%, 7.57%, we multiply this times 7.57, negate it because it was a loss. Then we hit percent and it converts it to a decimal. Then we hit enter. And that person would have lost $37.85 of their $500 investment. So if we add the $500 back to it, it will subtract the loss, and that person will be left with $462.15. Okay, we got it. That was cool. That was smooth. So let's move on. And we already have them selected. So now we're about to go over to the Analyze tab. Here's the ticker APP. They are in the information technology sector. Now, we've been doing something a little different recently, and I don't want to stop doing it because I like this. This is very good to do. It's good practice to be able to look to see how the sector and the industry that the company performing good or bad is doing compared to its peers. It gives investors and traders a better perspective, a wider view of how the company is performing compared to similar companies. Okay. So we're going to go over to the Market Watch tab. Then we're going to go to Visualize. And we are going to go to S&P 500. So here is the heat map for the S&P 500. And we're going to break this down until we find AppLovin. So we need to drop this down and we're going to go to the information technology sector. And here we are. Now we're looking for AppLovin. Here it is. Red as can be. So that's in the software industry. So we're going to drop this down and we're going to go to software. Bam, there's AppLovin. Now it gets even more specific. So we're in the information technology sector. We're in the software industry. And now we're going to look, it looks like they're in the application software sub industry. And they are. So we can see now that we zoomed in, like I was telling you, it's very informative that all of these companies performed bad today, except Datadog. That's the only company in that sector, in that industry, in that sub industry, like specifically all the way down to that sub industry that performed well. So this looks like the sub industry as a whole is having some type of issue, not just an individual company. So we see that. Now we can go back to the Analyze tab and we can read the description about the company. Let me take me off the screen and we can break that down. So AppLovin Corporation, here's their website. And the link to their website is also down in the description for your convenience. Let's read a little bit of this. AppLovin Corporation provides end-to-end artificial intelligence powered advertising solutions for businesses in the United States and internationally. It operates through two segments, advertising and apps. That's all I'm going to read for that. Now put me back on the screen and we're about to visit their website. So here we go. Put the financial advice. This is not financial advice disclaimer. We got that. And I believe I had it set up already. So let's talk about our plan for navigating this website. We are going to browse over the home page. It looks like it's very short. Here's the investors. So we're definitely going to go there. We're going to look for careers and about. We might be able to find this on the main page. So we're just going to browse over it and read a little bit about it. Okay. So we enable businesses to advertise profitably. Our site of marketing, our suite of marketing technologies empowers businesses to acquire customers, monetize them, and measure the performance of their advertising efforts. Okay. So this company deals with software. They offer software and apps that help companies advertise and track those advertisements and things like that to manage them and charge and all of this other good stuff. So I'm gonna break that down a little bit further after we cover their website. Okay. Now we see about AppLovin. So let me take me off the screen so you can see it. So we're going to go right here to about AppLovin, and here's careers and here's investors. So everything we're going to see is right here at the bottom. So I believe about AppLovin, we're already on that page. This is the home page. That's about AppLovin. So we've already covered it because you can't click it. So let's go ahead and go to careers. Put me back on the screen. And here we go. Careers. Grow your career at AppLovin. View open roles. So you can look for different jobs that they have available right there. We are looking for, you already know, the benefits. I'm looking for the benefits. And if I'm not mistaken, we've covered this company a few times. I think this is the company that reimburses you if you ride a bike to work. I could be wrong, guys. I could be, but I know we've seen a company on here that reimburses people for riding a bicycle to their job. But here are the benefits, okay? Please note that our benefits vary by region and employment status. So whether you're, I'm sure that means full-time, part-time, et cetera, et cetera. All open positions. So you can look at all the different departments, positions, offices. This is other stuff. So we don't go over that and not accidentally click something. We are worried about the benefits. So we check to see, we located where that is so we can move on. Now, what are we looking for now? We can go to investors relations because I found out some other stuff that I could talk to you guys about and open it up in a whole nother window. So let me try something. Let me go back and see if when we click investors here, it doesn't open. Nope, it opens up another window anyway. So let me bring it over so you can see it. So here, the other window, bring this over, blow this up, put this back. All right, cool. Let's see if they got it zoomed out. Blow this up, bam, zoom in. Zoom out. We're good. All right. So we're on the investors relations page. We're going to scroll over this website section. All right. We see it. Now we're going to look for the stock information. It's right at the top of the screen as well as right here. But we're going right here at the top. So we're going to go to stock information. Here's the stock quote. Here's the stock chart, historical stock quote, some other tools that they have. So we got that. Now I want to tell you about what I found about what I found in my research. So let's go here. Let's go to Cam because we're going to keep AppLovin that on the screen while I talk about it. Okay, so the biggest loser, app, ticker APP, AppLovin. Their goods and or services include but are not limited to app discovery, max, adjust, world, WURL, not world, WURL, and owned mobile apps. So those are the different apps and software that they offer to their customers for them to be able to manage their marketing efforts. That's the best way for me to describe it from my understanding, okay? So when it comes to their customers and partners listed in the S&P 500, they include Google, which is also known as Alphabet, ticker GOOGL. And we also talked about the fact that Google has Class A shares and Class C shares. So GOOGL is Class A, which has the voting rights, and Class C is ticker GOOG. And then another one of their customers or partners includes Apple, ticker AAPL, Meta Platforms, ticker META, Take-Two Interactive, ticker TTWO, Electronic Arts, ticker EA, and Match Group, ticker MTCH. Okay, so that's what I found in my research. So now we can go over to the charts. I probably did that too fast. Here we go. There we go. We're on the charts. So we have AppLovin pulled up. Let's go to the charts. Yeah, we've covered them a few times. We got some lines on the screen dealing with them. So we are looking at a 1 year daily chart. We've already did some technicals on this company before. So I'm going to try my best to try to find something a little different to cover or talk about. I'm eyeballing it right now. Matter of fact, yeah, the historic data isn't going to change. I believe we already looked at that, but I'm going to go back and peek at it with you real quick. So this is it's supposed to be a 10-year weekly chart. Let me double check and make sure. Yes, but it only goes back as far as 2021. So let me take me off the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. It's right here. It only says 2021. So historically, something happened. Either they had a different ticker symbol at that time, or that's when they first IPO'd. It's some type of reason why this ticker doesn't have 10 years worth of information. So historically, we would have to do our research to find that out, but we're not going to worry about that, or at least I'm not going to worry about that right now, because we on good pace to finish at a good time tonight, because we've been doing these live streams where they end up being like an hour and a half. So since we've covered this before and the price action is right here, that's what we're going to focus on, guys. So let's go to the 1 year daily chart, and we can see I'm just focusing right now on the 9-day simple moving average. So the price for today closed right here below it. So it closed below the 9-day simple moving average, and here's the 200-day simple moving average. So it closed below both of those, but it was already trading below the 200-day. And I'm seeing that these three candles right here, let me use this other mouse. These three candles, this one, and this one, this green one, they all came down around this price level. So let me do this. And wasn't able, it's a couple candles that was having problems with this price level. So this $433.59, I drew a couple of candles. I drew a couple of arrows on here. Let's delete those. And I'm just going to try to point them out because we'll have a whole bunch of arrows on here if I did it for everyone I'm looking at. Okay. So I'm going to use this tool. These candles here, they had problems with it. They had problems with it. And they had problems with it. Okay. This will be faster. Even here, you can see these two candles respected it. I hope this is better than using those arrows so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay. So those 4 times is more than 4 candles, but those 4 areas, you can see how it was responding to that $433.59 price level. And then down here, this area, you see those wicks in that price level at $364.13. Even down here. Yeah, I like this tool better because this helps me group these so you can see it. So it responded off of that. So this held as support here and here. And then here, it was having hard times deciding whether it was going to stay above it or below it, above it or below it. But recently, right here, this held as support because the price is trading above it now. But it hasn't been able to get back to this price level of $519.79 since here. These two candles, okay? So that's what I'm seeing. And now with it closing down here today on this candle, is closer to support than it is to resistance. Got it? Hope so. So we did our technicals. So if I had to draw something as resistance, I would say we can probably put some resistance here because these two candles look like they had a hard time getting above a certain level. Okay. So let's do that. So if I come over here, get this price level, we'll say here, right about here. And if I use this one, you can see that this opened at that price level too. This candle for today opened at around that price level of $487.59. And these candles here, let me use this tool again. These candles here had a hard time with that price level at $487.59. Okay. And so did these. These had problems with it. So it seems like the resistance has gotten lower. Back here, it was $519.79, but recently it seems like it's $487.59. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing as the technicals. Now, let's go ahead and do our stock quote for AppLovin. So let me cut the floating data box back on. Once I get this stuff figured out, there we go. Floating data box, bada bam, bada bam, bada boom, bada bing. I can't even say that right. Bada bam, bada boom, bada boom, bada bing. All right. So AppLovin opened today at $487.39. They had a high of $487.39. So we talked about this before. With those being the same, the open and the high, this is another example of a candle having a shaven head. The high is the exact same amount as the open on a red candle. If it was a green candle, the high would be the same as the close. So when the close is higher than the open, the candle is green. When the open is higher than the close, the candle is red. So that's what we're talking about. So the low was $450.30 and the close was $453.53. And that was a trading range of $37.09. Now, when we talk about the volume, they did not have earnings today. So we should definitely see low, well, not definitely, but chances are they're going to have about average volume because They didn't have earnings unless they had what's called a catalyst, some type of news, some type of event that caused people to trade more than what they normally would trade on a daily average trading volume. Okay. Hope that makes sense. So the trading volume for today was 5 million shares of this stock was traded. Now, when we take the floating data box off, when we take me off the screen, we're going to go over here to my volume label, and we can see that the average trading volume for AppLovin is about 5 million shares in a day. So let's get a little bit more specific. If we did 5.7 million, today they traded 5.6 million. So it was slightly below average, but it's right there. Okay. Now, yesterday on Tuesday, they traded 4.6 million shares of their stock. So we see the volume increasing. And when it increased, the stock had selling pressure. It sold off and went down. Okay. Because the candle's red, it went down. Now, we covered that. Let's go over here to the volume rank percentile tool or label. Put me back on the screen. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 95 days had higher trading volume than today. Now, when we look at the volume rank percentile, it's 62.3%, which means out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was higher than 62.3% of those days. Okay. So we got it. We got it, guys. We did our technicals. We got it. We good. We can move on. We can move on. So let's go here to over here. Let's go over here to the Market Watch tab and go back to the quotes. And with the quotes, we're going to reverse this and put it on the biggest winner. So the biggest winner for today is ticker F, Ford Motor Company. Guys, Ford been in the game so long, they ticker is F. They ticker is a single letter that tell you how long they've been in the game. Okay. So Ford Motor Company, they went up by 13.18% today. Their previous close was $11.99. And today they closed at $13.57. And it was a 13.18% gain. So let's do our calculation again with a hypothetical. Let's put this on the screen because we're using the Charles platform. Okay. Clear this out. Now, let's say if somebody had invested $100. If somebody invested $100, that's too easy. They would have made $13.18. If it was $1,000, it would have been $131.80. I hope you get the idea. So that's why I don't use the 1,000 and the $100 anymore. We try to use like an odd number so we can look at what the calculation would be. So let's say it was $800. So if it was $800 multiplied times 13.18%, they would have made or gained $105.44. Now that would be the ROI, the return on investment. Then we add the principal back to it, which was $800. And then the total investment would have grown to a total of $905.44. Boom, bada boom, bada bing. I'm gonna start saying that. So we got it. So now we're gonna go over here to analyze. And when we go over here to analyze, here's the ticker symbol, APP. They are also in the information technology sector. Wait a minute. No, we are covering Ford. I didn't click it. Hold on, guys. I'm glad I caught that. So we go back to Market Watch. I have to highlight them. That's what I missed. So when I select them, now it will update. So ticker F, they are in the consumer discretionary sector. So let's do what we did last time. Let's go look, Market Watch tab. Go to the Visualize tab. We're going to condense this. So this is the whole SP 500 as a heat map. Drop it down. We're going to the consumer discretionary. Bam. There's F, very bright green right here. And we can see they got a lot of red up in here too in this consumer discretionary. Before it was killing them today. Okay. So let's drop that down and see. I believe it's going to be in automobiles. Yep. So you can see it right here, this little label. So we click that, automobiles. So in the S&P 500, in the consumer discretionary sector, in the automobiles industry, you have Tesla, GM, and Ford. And if you drop that down is going to be in the automobile manufacturers industry sub tab. I'm not sub industry, not sub tab. So you got sector, industry, and sub industry. So they're in the automobile manufacturer sub industry when we get real specific. Okay. So we got it. So out of these three companies, only GM performed poorly today. And it wasn't by much. They went down by 0.82%. And that's what I'm reading right here. So let's go back to analyze. We're going to go to the company profile. So take me off the screen so you can see it. So Ford Motor Company, here's their website. Link for their website is down in the description. Down in the description for your convenience. So Ford Motor Company develops, delivers, and services Ford trucks, sport utility vehicles, commercial vans, and cars, and Lincoln luxury vehicles in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Mexico, and internationally. Now we're going to move on. I usually don't read all of this. Okay, so let's move on. Let's go to their website. Bam. Put me back on the screen. There we go. And we're going to change the disclaimer to that one. Okay. So we got it. Now we're going to scroll over their homepage, walk you through what our plan is. We're going to look at vehicles because I want to see what different brands they have. We're going to scroll over the homepage, and down at the bottom, we're going to have to browse and see if we can see what we're looking for, because I don't see it at the top. Okay. So let's go ahead and go over this. American value for American values. I like that wordplay. Okay. So featured offers, pricing for May 13, 2026. Okay. They're showing some of their vehicles. There's a video, find your Ford. So ready, set, Ford. I like that. I like that too. Electric and hybrid SUVs and cars. Create your perfect drive. So they have some different things there. Get a quote, get keys, get going. Okay, all right. At your service, the Ford owner experience. Ford inspires. They having babies. Chasing the checker flag. Look like they're racing. Picture yourself in one. Ready, set, Ford. Okay, now that we're at the bottom, we're going to look for where we're going to be browsed. There's a lot of different options, guys. So give me a second. Experience Ford. So careers and investors, we're definitely going to look there. And about Ford. So those are three things we're going to look at. And I want to look at the brands. So up here where it said, they talk about awards that they have, all vehicles, certified used. So let's go to vehicles. Guys, this looks like this is going to be a lot of different stuff. So I'm going to just hopefully just browse over it so you can see some of the vehicles that they have. I was hoping they would have it broken down like in brands, but they mentioned Lincoln. But I wanted to know if they would have like the brands, because sometimes when we look at car companies, they talk about the different brands that go under that name. Okay. But let's move on. I want to get tied up on that too long. So we're going to go to about Ford. Now, let's see if we can find, there it is, our purpose. Did they zoom us out? This look kind of small to me. Yeah, there we go, 150. So we zoomed in. Our purpose as a company, to help build a better world where every person is free to move and pursue their dreams. I like it. I like it. I like it. So that's our purpose as a company. So this just says our purpose. We are here for one purpose, to help build a better world where every person is free to move and pursue their, that's the same thing. Am I tripping? It seems same to me. All right. So we're seeing purpose. Remember, links for the website are down in the description for your convenience. I don't see anything about mission. They say about us. So they have operations, locations for credit, social impact. And I'm going to break down their customers, partners, goods and or services like I did with AppLovin. Okay. So we're going to do that after we browse their website. We didn't do careers. So let's go to careers. And we are looking for the benefits, guys. Let's see if they zoomed us out. They did. Man, I got to be on it, because just in case you're looking from a phone, I want to make sure you can see it. Even though I've warned you guys, look at this from a computer or a TV. But I know some people be on their phones or on their phones. Explore career areas at Ford. Motor Company, manufacturing, engineering and technology, business and corporate services. Remember, the links are down in the description for your convenience. Hey, Michigan Central Campus, Detroit, Michigan. This used to be the train station, our historic train station here in Michigan, Michigan Central Campus. I didn't know this. Yeah. All right, leading a vision for the future. I don't see benefits. So let me go back to the top, type of drop down I'm missing, about us, cultural, there it is, US benefits. See, you gotta click around, guys, experiment, look around. So our people and our people and culture, what we do, and US benefits. So let's click that. Benefits that support your life and career. Let's check the zoom in, zoom out. We're good with the zoom in. For more than a century, Ford has thrived because of the people who work here. Okay, shared priorities, coverage that cares. So it looks like it might be generic, like they're gonna be kind of vague, like it's like an overview of what they have. So coverage that cares. This is medical, dental, prescription coverage, investing in you, gaining access to retirement savings, life insurance programs. And also I have some videos on my channel about life insurance, about 5 videos about it. Very informative. I have a playlist already put together. You can check that out at your convenience as well. So better balance, talk about paid vacations and things like that. So we see it. So now let's move on to investors relations. We're doing really good tonight, guys. We really are. Let's go back. That's not going to be it. That's not going to be it. Investors relations right here, investors. So let's see if they zoomed us out again. They did. Here we go. 150% investor relations. I don't see the stock price right here. Scroll over this page, see what we can find. Okay. Remember, links for this website are down in the description for your convenience. So we're going to go up here to where it says information. Here it is, stock information. So stock quote, stock chart, and other investment tools. And it looks like Ford pays a dividend because they talk about the dividend history. Okay. So let's go to stock quote. Bam. Stock quote, stock chart, and other investing tools offered on their website. And they say that the dividends that they pay is 15 cents. So they've been paying 15 cents per share. This is the payment date that they've been doing it. And this is when they announce it. Okay. And some people probably don't even know what this is. So ex-dividend date is when they announce what the dividend will be. Record date means that you have to own the shares by the closing on that date. So you can own it. You can own it on May 12th. And then if someone owns it on May 12th, but they sell it on May 13th, they will still receive the dividend because they were on record as owning that stock. I hope that makes sense, but that's what record date means. Okay. So let's go to here because I want to tell you what I found in my research. So for Ford, their goods and or services, of course, we know they sell vehicles, electric mobility, financial services, which is Ford Motor Credit. So they have their own credit department for financing their vehicles as an option to help get financing. Commercial solutions, auto parts, and accessories under the brands Motorcraft and Omnicraft. So Ford, their parts are Motorcraft and Omnicraft. That's one of their brands. Those are their brands. That's why Ford prefers those parts in their vehicles. Okay. So customers and partners listed in the S&P 500 include Google, which I talked about earlier. So this is another company that's affiliated with Google, or partners or customers with Google. Tesla, ticker TSLA, Google, ticker GOOGL, AT&T, ticker T. Now, AT&T been out a long time. Remember how I was making fun of Ford? They ticker symbol F. AT&T ticker symbol T. So the mobile service that they offer in Ford vehicles, it seems that they're partnered with AT&T with that. From my research, I think that's what I have found. So that's how AT&T are affiliated with Ford. So Amazon, ticker AMZN, Walmart, ticker symbol WMT, and Home Depot, ticker symbol HD. So the flatbeds that Home Depot rents out, those are usually Ford vehicles, from my understanding, from my research. But remember, you need to do your own research too. I'm just sharing with you what I found, but do your own due diligence. But that's what I wanted to share with you about what I found when I looked at it. So now let's go back to the charts. Let's put this disclaimer on the screen about the Charles Schwab. Got it. Okay, now that we're looking at the charts, we're looking at a 1 year daily chart. And guys, I was able to make some money on this trade. And I want to walk you through what I was looking at in the technicals, why I took the trade, and why my exit was where it was at. Okay. So this should be very educational for people looking how to set entries and exits. This is an example of how my thinking was when I took this trade. Okay. So we're looking at a 1 year daily chart, but we're going to go and look at a 10-year weekly. So I'm going to tell you what I was seeing. What I was seeing was, from my technical analysis, my own personal, that we've talked about consolidation more recently a few times. So let me take me off the screen. Right here, it seems like this stock was trending down. And then they hit a 10-year low of $3.96 right here. Okay. Right here. And if we use this tool, this looks like consolidation to me. And remember, after consolidation, the price is either going to go up or it's going to go down. And we see that it went up. So let's erase the down. So after this consolidation, the stock price went up. And it just was trending up, 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 up. Just went crazy. So we can extend this arrow, matter of fact. So let's go here and extend this arrow. Bam, went up here, right? Now, what type of gain was this? So I'm going to use this tool, this trend tool, and we're going to connect it to that low and go to this high. How many days was that? That was 658 days. So if we pull up our calculator, how many years was that? 658 days. Let's divide that by months so we can get so it's about 21 months. So it's less than 2 years. We know that 24 months is in 2 years. So about a year and 9 months. So about a year and 9 months, Ford offered an opportunity for a 553% return, guys, from this 10-year low to that 10-year high. The 10-year low of $3.96 up to $25.87 as the 10-year high. Okay. Ford was making a lot of changes around this time with dropping vehicles they felt like they weren't making money off of and focusing more on their number one selling vehicle, where if I'm not mistaken, is their Ford F-150. So they started streamlining their profitable vehicles and talking about going into making an electric Ford 150 and things like that. So it was a lot of good news around the company around that time that I think drove this price movement up like this. Okay. And then after the hype was the fall. Okay. After the hype died down, boom, it came down. Now it's trending down, but it's not as steep as this one. If you see what I'm saying, it's not as steep. So I was looking at this like, this is like a long-term consolidation. It's like a long-term consolidation, but it's not aggressive like this downtrend right here. That's very aggressive. So I viewed this more as sideways versus down, even though it is slanted down. Okay. So I'm gonna erase all that, and we're about to do some price levels looking at on the weekly chart. So now when I look here, I was seeing that it was making lower lows. So we see a low here. Let's use the arrow. I see a low here. Then this is a lower low. Then this is a lower low. And then this is a lower low. But it wasn't able to get lower than this area right here. So I'm going to say this area right here to me was consolidation. And this was more like a sideways consolidation instead of this one that was sloping kind of down. This one is true consolidation because now it's going sideways. Now, after that, it's going to either go up or it's going to go down. And we can see that after this consolidation phase, it went up. So let me delete. I deleted all of it. I didn't mean to do that. Let's do undo and erase these. So erase that and erase that. So it went up. So what I was looking at, I'm like, because of this, let me do the price level. I said, if Ford can come down, this is what I was looking at personally. If Ford can come down to around $11.50, I'm going to start buying it. Me personally, I'm going to start buying it. So when it comes to trading and investing, position sizing is very, very important. So what I've learned, if I wanted to buy 1,000 shares, for example, of a company, and let me delete this because we don't need that anymore. If I was going to buy 1,000 shares of a company, because you can't actually time the bottom, because I can't actually time the bottom, nobody can time the bottom, I chose to start breaking my position into dollar cost averaging. So my plan was buy a certain amount of shares at $11.50. If it comes down to 11, buy another block of shares. So let's use an even number, 900. If I'm going to purchase 900 shares of this company, I'm going to buy 300 shares at $11.50. If it comes down to 11, I'm going to buy another 300 shares. If it comes down to 1050, I'm going to buy another 300 shares. So now I've spread it out my cost basis instead of just buying 900 shares at 1150. That was the sizing strategy that I was using, okay? And that's just example numbers. That's not exactly what I had did. Just we're using this as educational. So I made my purchase at 1150. Now, to be able to keep emotions out of the trade, I set my exit as soon as I open the position. Okay. Some traders and investors make a huge mistake by not knowing where they're going to get out when they get in. So I've learned that it's best for me to know where I'm getting out before I even get in. So I'm doing all of that in my technicals. So let me go over to the 1 year daily chart to show you where I saw potential exits at. So I bought down here. And let me show you why I was looking at this as an opportunity. Because the last time it came down to these price levels, you can see them right here. It really didn't get lower than this low right here. And that low was $11.11. So if we use this tool right here, and guys, you know, I don't even have it on the screen. I'm talking to y'all, and I don't even have this up. So let me see. I know what the problem is. Here we go. I'm talking about the chart. You can't even see it. Come on, come on. Come on, what's going on? There we go. All right, here go the charts. Man, I hate when I make these type of mistakes. How long was I doing it? I don't even know how long I was doing it. Oh my gosh, this was important. How much of the chart did I even miss? I have no idea. I can't even go back and watch it because we live right now. I have no idea. But anyway, oh, that killed me. That killed me. I'm just talking and you guys couldn't see it. I'm wishing I could hear it in my head. I did all that drawing and everything. I don't know what I did. Let's just move on. So anyway, right here, consolidation. This is what I'm seeing for consolidation. So I know it's either going to go up or down. And we see that it went up. So I'm like, there was consolidation. I don't know who did it, but somebody was buying it while it was at these levels. So that's what's making me think that is attractive at that price point. So that's why I chose around 1150, because 1150 would be considered to be like a round number. So psychologically, people are attracted to round numbers like $12, $11, 1150. Round numbers seem to be attractive to people. So when I saw this came to that 1150 price point on this day, and then it came back to it one more time. So when I seen this, I'm like, I'm going to buy. So I opened my position on this day and I set my exit. Now I want to talk to you about setting exits. What did I see as potential exits? The first one I seen as a potential exit is very conservative, and that would have been the dashed 9-day simple moving average. So that would have been a price point of, now it depends on where this 9-day simple moving average is at the time you open the position, okay? So when I open the position on this day, that would be the price level on the 9-day of that day. That would be the 9-day simple moving average of that day. So I'm gonna show you where you're gonna look at that at. Right here. This is the price for that day, the $12.15. So that would have been my take profit exit. That would have been the first one. The second one was the first round number. So the first round number would have been, not the first round number, the second round number. The first round number would have been 12, but the 9 was already above 12. So the next round number would have been 1250. So my profit taking target I set for myself was 1250. But I'm going to show you the other price targets where they would have been at, and then you'll see how today's action actually responded to these price levels and how I find them, okay? So let's talk about that. So that was the first one. I talked about the round number. So right after that round number would also be this. It would be the 200-day simple moving average. So the same thing. The price for the 200-day simple moving average was $12.57. And that's this dashed white line. And it's right above the day I entered the position. That's where that price level is for when I entered that position. Actually, it's $12.54. That's the day I entered the position. So that price level exit would have been $12.54, but that's above the $12.50 exit. So those are 3 price points. You got the 9, which was $12.23, actually, $12.23 on the day of that entry. And then you have the round number of $12.50. Then you have the $12.54. All those were potential take profits. Now I'm going to show you where I got the other ones from. So the one above the 200-day simple moving average, which is the $12.54, and I'm going to delete all of these, are these candles right here. As you can see, both of those candles tested that $13.03 price point, those wicks. So that would be the 4th take profit level. And we're going to keep going up the body of this candle so you can see all these different price points. As a matter of fact, we got time. You here. So let's do this. Let's delete that. Let's go here. And I'm going to actually put the profit taking levels on the chart, and I'm going to label them. So the first one was right here. So that was 12.23. So we're going to put that on the chart. 12.23. 12.23. PT profit take. That's what that means. Profit take 1. And that's based off of the 9. So let me make sure I'm telling you what that is. So profit take 1, SMA 9. So we know which one that was. Okay. So that was the first profit take level. The next profit take level was the round number. The round number. So the round number is going to be the 1250. So edit profit. edit properties. So PT2 round number. Let's do this. Round number. So that was profit take 2. Profit take 3 was the 200-day simple moving average on the day I opened the position. So that was $12.54. $12.54. That's going to be PT3 SMA 200. Right. And I'm going to spread this out so they won't be overlapping one another. Those are real close. I don't want to spread the chart out too much, but that's profit take 1, profit take 2, profit take 3. Okay, so where's the next one? The next ones are the 2 arrows that I showed you right here. So the price level 4, this is going to be profit take number 4. Now, as you see, as we go higher, like further away from the entry, each one of those profit taking levels are going to be more aggressive and less of a probability of being reached in a short time frame, if that makes sense. The further they're out, the harder it's going to be for that price target to be reached. So profit target, this is going to be 4. Profit target 4, and it's based off of, I'm going to call that a double top, even though it's a gap in the middle of it. Let me just put profit target 4. Okay. And then the last one is actually a profit take 5 and 6. There's a gap right here. And I'm going to put that on the screen. This gap between these 2 candles, that's a gap. So we're going to make that yellow, because that's what we do when we highlight gaps on this channel. And we're going to extend it over. So we're going to extend this over to July 1st. Okay. So that one is going to be profit take 5. And it could be the bottom or the top of that range. So the bottom of that range, let's do the top because it's going to be hard to see in that yellow. So the top of that range is 1322. 1322. So we go here. 1322. There we go. And now we're going to put edit properties, price level, PT5, profit take 5, gap 1. And here's the last one. So you can see how the price actually responded to these profit taking levels today. This gap right here. Here's another gap, and that's the wrong tool. So rectangle, gap, extend it, turn it yellow first. Now when we extend it, going to extend this over to July 1st. Look where the price stopped at today. That wick touched right inside that gap. And people ignore technicals. If you know how to read the chart, you'll see that more often than not, these prices, they want you to believe it's random. But it seems like when you know how to read the charts and know where to look, they will actually respond to specific levels on the charts if you know where to find them, if you know where to see them. So the bottom of that range, edit properties, is $13.93. Well, what was the high of this candle? Let's cut on the floating data box. The high of this candle was $13.94. It was 1 cent higher than the bottom of that range on that zone from that gap that happened. And we're looking at a 1-year daily chart. So we drew 6 profit taking levels. This one would have been, if we use the bottom of the range, $13.93. So edit properties, name, I don't even think we have this name visible. Is there? I don't see rectangle. Is there a yeah, I don't see anything to even ask if you want the label visible because it doesn't have that up there. But for the price levels, they do. So let's take this floating data box off. We did the technical, so we're about to wrap this up. I just want to put this level on the chart because it's named the profit target. See how it is hard to see? I know it's hard to see, guys, but we're gonna put it up here anyway. So profit target 5, or was it 6? No, this profit target 6, gap 2. So I showed you 6 potential profit target levels from an entry down there. So profit take 1 was the simple moving average. Profit take 2 was a round number. Profit take 3 was simple moving average 200. Profit take 4 was these 2 wicks right here. Were these 2 wicks right here, like a double top, which was the pullback, the top of the pullback. Okay. And then the next profit take level, profit take 5 was the first gap, and profit take 2 was the 6th gap. And that's actually where the momentum of the selling, of the buying pressure today fizzled out at. It made it through all of those profit take levels and stalled out at profit take gap 2. Profit take 6, gap 2, based off what we drew on the chart. Okay. But my exit, I wanted to be conservative. I didn't want to shoot for the stars. I'm working on getting more wins than losses. And then I'm working on making sure my winners are larger than my losers. So if I can keep a high win rate ratio and then improve my profit loss ratio, I'm good. So I'm just focusing on improving my entries, improving taking profits when they're there, making sure I have my exits planned before I even open the position, and be okay if the stock continues to go up without me. If I continue to play the what if and maybe and all that game, listen, if you know that you're going to catch another fish, you don't worry about the one you missed. I hope you understood what I just said, because that was profound, prolific, terrific. If you know you're going to be able to catch another fish, you do not cry over the one you missed. You know you're going to just put another worm on that hook, put it back out there, you're going to catch another one. You're going to put your net back in the water, you're going to catch another one. You're not going to cry over the fact that you missed whatever else was there. My goal was to make profit on that trade, and I did it. I don't care that it went to 13.93. It went to 13.94, and I got out at 12.50. I planned on getting out at 12.50, and that's what I did. I didn't know it was going to go all the way up there. I didn't even know if it was going to go to 12.50, but that was my plan. And it was executed, and boom, got my profit, and I'm gone. So that's part of being disciplined. That's part of having a plan. That's part of having a strategy. And that's what we need to work on as traders and investors. Find goals that you need to do little by little to improve as a trader or investor. That's what we need to do. So I know where my weaknesses are. My weaknesses, or one of my weaknesses, is not having a plan before I open up the trade. So when you have a complete plan before you open up the trade, that reduces your emotions getting the best of you. At least for me, that's what I'm learning for myself. So let's wrap this up, because we did everything else. It's getting late and I went crazy on this one, but I gave a lot away. This was very informative and educational, so I wanted to make sure I shared this with you guys. So let's make sure we do the stock quote, talk about the volume and all that other good stuff. So Ford, ticker F, opened today at $11.97. They had a high of $13.94, and they had a low of $11.97, and they closed today at $13.57, which was a trading range of $1.97. And the trading volume, oh my gosh, I ain't even realized this, how much volume they had today. They traded 216 million shares of this stock today. I don't know if this was a short squeeze And if you don't know what that is, that's where people try to profit if the stock goes down. So what happens if they're trying to profit when the stock go down, that means they lose money as the stock goes up, and they have to buy it. It don't matter how expensive it is. They have to buy it as it goes up. So if you had people that was trying to short forward and people was coming in buying it anyway because they wanted it, you had a lot of people that were forced to buy it at higher prices because they had shorted it. So that would be called a short squeeze. And that could have helped drive the price up today. I don't know if that's what happened, but that's possible. Okay. But that's a lot of trading activity without a catalyst. I think the only thing I had found catalyst wise, and that just means some type of reason, like some type of news, was that Ford was about to start manufacturing electric batteries. That was very important because they weren't going to be just restricted to cars. Like it was going to help with batteries, like backup batteries for data centers. And you know, people are real big on AI. So don't quote me on it, but do the research and find out if that's what drove this move. Okay. So the trading volume today, we covered that. Let me take me off the screen so we can talk about it. So over here, when we look at the trading volume, the previous trading volume, so the day before it was trading below average, and that was Tuesday because the day was Wednesday. And the average trading volume for Ford is 72 million shares in a daily trading session. And they did 3 times what they normally do. Because 7 times 3 is 21. That's what I'm looking at. So this is 3 times what they normally do. Crazy on average. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 4 days had higher volume than today. That's what I'm looking at. And the volume rank percentile, today's volume was higher than 98.4% of those 252 most recent trading days. Crazy. Okay. And yes, Ford does pay a dividend. Here's the most recent that was paid at 15 cents on May 12th. Okay. All right. So we went over a lot of stuff tonight. You got a lot of game from your host. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I've done 2 interviews with up-and-coming content creator Tiara Owens, sharing how I got started investing in the stock market, my profits and losses, and the link to that playlist of interviews are down in the description. And make sure you tune in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.